Hello everyone, welcome to the 9th of a series of guides for each world in Kingdom Hearts 1. This guide will be going over the storyline path through each world. In this episode, Halloween Town. Go through the gate in the entrance hallway to the Guillotine Square. Once there, you'll have a cutscene that you can skip or watch. The Heartless will be passive and you can just ignore them. Go through this door into the lab entryway and then up the stairs into the research lab. Skip or watch this cutscene, then you can leave the lab and skip or watch the following cutscene. Head back into Guillotine Square and Heartless will now be aggressive. Feel free to fight or skip these enemies whenever you desire throughout the world. I'll only be calling out when you have to defeat Heartless to move on with the storyline. Head through this gate to the graveyard, defeat the Heartless here and it will trigger a cutscene, skip or watch it. Head back to the Guillotine Square and skip or watch the cutscene that plays, then retrace your steps back to the lab. Skip or watch this cutscene, retrace your steps back in the opposite direction, heading back to the graveyard, and clear out this room of Heartless, and then you'll be able to interact with the coffin to go to a new location. After getting here, speak to the mayor, and he'll start a puzzle which requires you to interact with the gravestones in the correct order. Watch the three ghosts rise from the gravestones, and then interact with the same gravestones in the order that they rose. Here's what it looks like when you're doing it correctly. After this is done, turn around and go to the giant pumpkin. Inside will be a chest. Open it to obtain the Jack-in-the-Box, and then retrace your steps back to the laboratory again. This is back through the door you came through to get to here, then through the door in the graveyard, the lab entryway door in the Guillotine Square, and then into the lab again. Skip or watch this cutscene, and then, shocker, you're going to have to retrace your steps back in the opposite direction again. Return to where the mayor was through the graveyard, and then go through the big gray pumpkin door instead. You'll now be in an area with a bunch of gravestones with the twisty mountain in the middle of the room. You'll have to clear the Heartless in this room as you'll be required to interact with the mountain again. Once you've cleared out the Heartless, or at least enough of the Heartless to interact with it, walk up to this spot to examine it, and you'll walk across to a new zone in a little mini cutscene. Continue across the bridge here and through the gate opposite of where you entered to go to Oogie's Manor, and then skip or watch this cutscene. Carefully make your way across this wooden bridge. Be careful while traversing Oogie's Manor and fighting Heartless too close or off edges of the manor. If you really need to kill an enemy that is flying off the edge to be able to move on, where you can't really hit them, use magic like Thera or Thunder to dispatch them. You'll have to clear these Heartless near the door entrance here, as you have to examine it to open it. Once opened, you'll find this lift in the middle of the room inside. Cast fire on it, and it will cause it to rise. Once you can, jump onto it, and jump off on the next floor above. You'll now mostly be following this wooden walkway to the top. Once you get to these gray stairs, these are what you'll want to climb up, and then you'll be continuing to the right pathway. Continue up the next walkway until you get to the next set of stairs, and then climb them, and at the end of the walkway up here, you'll find a room marked as the Evil Playroom. Go inside of it, and skip or watch this short cutscene. You're now fighting Lock, Shock, and Barrel. They shouldn't be much of an issue other than being mostly annoyances, since it can sometimes be hard to not get hit repeatedly and stun lock, since they're pretty fast and this room isn't very big. They don't really do too much damage, and it's mostly just an annoyance trying to get your combos on them. I would recommend trying to stay as airborne as possible by using aerial combos to dodge most of their attacks, as they're mostly ground-based. After that, you'll have a mini cutscene. Before you leave this room, make sure to jump and hit this lever. Make sure that this is activated before you leave. If it's not activated or you can't hit it, or interact with it, try talking to the kids in the room. This should allow you to interact with it. Make sure to do this step before leaving, otherwise you will have to do a lot of backtracking to get back here. I then kind of just skip everything that follows to get to where you need to go next. From the top, here's the pathway that I jump off to just go to where the next location is. And then you can go through this door to the torture chamber and skip or watch this cutscene. You'll now be fighting Oogie Boogie and be knocked into the arena. This fight is pretty easy as Oogie doesn't provide much of a threat. Basically, he'll throw dice down onto the board, and while the orange fiery ones explode, the normal red dice are rolls, and depending on what number the dice land on, a different effect will happen in the arena. None of these attacks are really that hard to dodge though. As an example, some of these dice effects can lead to him spawning some Heartless, throwing out disc blades that you have to dodge and jump over, or bring down Oogie's buzzsaws, which will spin around to slice you, or even cause Oogie to go to a machine up top to regen some of his health. None of these are really that dangerous. Eventually the buttons in the middle of the room will start to glow. You want to hit the button corresponding to Oogie's position on the upper platform. When hitting that button, it will lock you into and raise that part of the arena to be able to access the upper area and hit Oogie. Aerial combo Oogie for maximum damage output, as he will knock you back down a couple of times to repeat this same process. Pretty simple and a cool, flavorful fight. After defeating him, skip or watch these cutscenes, and oh wait, Oogie has now turned into a Manor somehow. Just accept it. This fight is quite a lot more annoying, and we're basically looking for these dark orbs to break all of them, which will end the fight. Make note of where these three are during the starting cutscene. Drop down off the bridge, and I'll show you the pathway I follow to get these orbs usually. First I jump over here and get this orb, then jumping here and across you'll find a second one. Continue your way around and you'll find a third on this walkway here. Note that during this fight, Heartless will be spawning and Oogie will be using his lantern to fire some very fast fire attacks out en masse. This fight is actually quite annoying and can be quite difficult, especially on Proud, because one mistake can lead you to die very, very quickly. I don't even really have very good tips for this fight on how to deal with dodging these fire attacks, but you can try to use Oogie's body to block these projectiles and just destroy the orbs as quickly as possible. Continue up the walkway for the fourth and then jump up here and to the end of the walkway for the fifth. The sixth one I've always found harder to find since it's out of the way from where all the other ones are, but here's how I locate it now. Jump off after getting all of the other 5 orbs and then look for the front door at the bottom of the manor. Walk around until you see this little area of Oogie to walk up next to. This is next to this big rock here, and then climb it. The last orb should be right over here. After breaking it, skip or watch these cutscenes. You'll get the gravity spell as a reward, and also obtain Pumpkinhead from Jack, a very solid Keyblade at this point in the game, and also one of my favorite designs from this game. You can then head back through the Guillotine Gate, where you entered the world, and exit via the save point, as we are all done with Halloween Town. In the next video, we're going to be heading down to the bottom path, to the world after Monstro. This will be Atlantica. Hope these guides help anyone that gets stuck on where to go or are trying to get the speedrun trophies. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you on the next one.